Hi y'all, this is Debbie Arnold with Dining with Debbie. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it very much. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite summer salads, and that's a fried green tomato salad with homemade Chipotle Ranch Dressing. Now we're going to start off by making the dressing because it needs to sit and blend for a while. I actually made up some last night and put it in the refrigerator. I like to keep it on hand actually. So all you're going to need, and remember I'll post this recipe, or it's already on my blog, and you can just at diningwithdebbie.net, you can just do a search for it if you want. But we're going to start off. We need a clove of garlic, and remember we put up some garlic the other day, and so I used a clove of garlic out of my little stash here. You need buttermilk. You need, I like to use non-fat Greek yogurt for a lot of things. I substitute it for mayonnaise in a lot of things, for sour cream in a lot of things. And what I like to do is I drain it, usually through coffee filters or a sieve, and get a lot of that way out of there, and then it comes out really, really nice and thick. Keep it on hand like that. I always have it on hand. And I think I said lime, but if I didn't, you want lime, salt and pepper, and you want some chipotle. Now these come in a can, chipotle peppers, okay, and in adobo sauce. What I like to do is, once I buy a can of these, I take them all out, I empty them up, and then I blend them so that they're all blended up like this and ready to use whenever I want them. Otherwise, you have to stop and chop them up or blend them up each time you want to use one. And usually I'll use about a tablespoon or so would equal one of the adobo peppers, chipotle peppers actually. So, alright, so once again, we have non-fat Greek yogurt, we have chipotle peppers in adobo, we have buttermilk, we have lime juice, cilantro, salt and pepper, and garlic. And we're going to take those and we're going to blend those all up, and then we're going to shake that mixture really, really well. If you blended it, it's going to be, with the blender, of course, it's already going to be shook up. Then before you use it, okay, you're going to shake it up really, really well too, okay? So now I'm going to get ready to set up for my fried green tomatoes. I have my salad plates, my dinner plates actually, it's going to be our lunch. In the refrigerator, getting those chilled. I always like to serve this on chilled salad plates. I have also, because I had it in the garden, I've cut up some okra, and this is red burgundy okra. I love that variety because it doesn't itch when you harvest it. I cut that up, and I'm going to fry that up along with my tomatoes, and I'm going to use these kind of like croutons. Now, red burgundy okra can get quite large. In fact, this is kind of small actually, and it stays really tender for a long time. Even some of the bigger pods that if you were using, say, a Clemson spineless, they'd be too hard and you just have to chunk those, throw them away or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to do that, and I may even add some peaches. I also have some tomatoes, other tomatoes from the garden besides the green ones. I have some black cherries, I have some green doctors, and I have one that's really, really sweet and great tasting. It's just tiny, tiny, and that's a Chiapas wild cherry. And I'll show that to you here in just a little bit. All right, so if you'll stay with me, go mix up your dressing, set it aside in your refrigerator. Have it. That's the very first thing you want to do is get your dressing out of the way and put it in the refrigerator, let it chill, and set up and get those flavors all blended. Okay. All right, in just a little bit, we'll be back to fry up our tomatoes and make our salad up. Okay, so I have fried up my okra and have it sitting, draining on some paper towels, waiting to be added to the salad. And there again, that's an optional thing. You don't have to do that. I'll show you another couple of things. We're going to add avocado to the salad as well. Now, when I do an avocado, I always like to have one that I felt was right but not mushy. And the way to test that is to test it by the end, where it was the stem end. Just mash that just a little bit. You don't have to mash the meat, the big ball of the avocado. Just mash right there, and if it gives a little bit, then that avocado is ready. You all, of course, can tell by the color too. But have you ever opened up an avocado and it's have all brown inside? That's because that avocado obviously is overripe. All right, the next thing you're going to do is to take a spoon. Some people do this differently. This is my favorite way to do it. Take that spoon and you're going to scoop around the skin of the avocado, and you'll pull out that half of an avocado almost perfectly, just like that. We're going to chunk that up here in just a little bit, and that'll be added to our salad. All right, one of the ways that you can get the seed out of the avocado is just to whack it really well with a knife and twist it, and it'll come right out. And if you don't like doing that, you know, you can scoop it out ahead of time using this same method, and then just cut it away from the seed. We love avocado at our house. Oops, lost that one. There you go. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with this peach because I like to add peaches as well. And this is another optional thing. And I'm just going to cut around that center seam of the peach, twist it off. These are cling-free peaches. And I like to leave the peeling on there. I've scrubbed it really, really well with vegetable wash. And, you know, even with organic peaches, I'm going to do the same thing. And I will twist out that little seed that's in there, that, you know, part. Did you know that the peach is a member of the almond family? If you crack open this seed and look inside, you will find the kernel of the seed, and it looks just like an almond. And you'll often find that almond is a really good flavoring to have in peach dishes, in your peach pies, your cobblers, and that kind of thing. All right, so I'm going to set those aside, and then when I get ready to plate my salad, then I'll chunk those up and put them on top of there. All right, I have goodness gracious, I'm having trouble today. Before we get to that, I want to show you, these are those Chiapas wild cherry tomatoes. They're tiny, 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 but these are the sweetest thing. So if you want to grow some tomatoes just for the fun of it, I mean, you wouldn't use these for canning or anything else, try this. It's an heirloom variety, Chiapas, C-H-I-A-P-A-S, Chiapas wild cherry. These are black cherries, and these are green doctors, and I like to use a variety of colors. I don't have any yellow pears or anything right now. My tomatoes are getting close to being done. At least I've cut them all back, and hopefully they'll come out when the weather cools down just a little bit. All right, all of those things will be used when I plate my salad. What I've done already, and I did this a few minutes ago, at least 15 to 20 minutes ahead of time, you want to cut up your green tomatoes about 1/2 inch in width, and sprinkle them with kosher salt and let them drain on some paper toweling, okay? You won't have a whole lot of fluid that comes out of a green tomato, but there will be some. And then you are going to take those slices that you've done, and let me get my oil going here. I'm frying these up in peanut oil. You could use rice bran oil. I probably wouldn't use olive oil to do this. You could. I just like the way the peanut oil fries things up nice and crispy. It has a real high heat point, so does rice bran oil, so do some other oils if you prefer not to use either one of those. All right, I sliced my green tomatoes up, left them out to drain here. I have egg whites right here that I'm going to use to dip the tomatoes in, and my directions on the recipe on the blog say to use another bowl. Honestly, y'all, I just use a bag like this. I keep a bag of cornmeal, self-rising cornmeal, and panko mixed up. I use that same mixture for okra, for fried squash, for fried tomatoes, all summer long. And I just toss it in my freezer when I'm not using it. And it's got I've added a little garlic in it, and so it's just easier for me to dip them in the egg white and then put them in here. I used this just a few minutes ago when I was cooking that okra, except I didn't dip the okra in the egg white. So I'm going to get a nice coating on here. That panko, those Japanese breadcrumbs that you add to this, add a little extra crunch to it. All right, so we're going to fry these up. Want them nice and golden to add to your salad. I don't know if you're used to or have ever had fried green tomatoes before. It's one of the things I look forward to in the summertime, along with those beautiful, beautiful tomatoes that we get. This has been an interesting summer. My tomatoes haven't done as well this summer as they typically do, but I've had a satisfactory season. And these are beefsteak tomatoes. I would want to try to fry the cherry tomato. So, all right. Have that ready. I'll put it in here. You don't want to crowd your frying pan either because they won't fry up well. And I go ahead and use the end pieces even though I have to cut out that core. I don't waste much food around here, obviously. All right. A little bit too big for me to shake up, so I'm having to use my hands. But normally I would just shake it up. These will take a few minutes to fry up. You want to watch them carefully. You will turn them. Try not to turn them more than one time. But I'm going to let these fry up, and I'll come back in just a few minutes, and we'll finish up. I'll have these all fried up for you. I'll plate the salad, and we'll be ready to have lunch today. All right, thanks. Okay, so I have plated up our fried green tomatoes on top of our salad greens, and then added in our peach and our avocado, and sprinkled it with some of those tomatoes that I showed you earlier, some of the little cherry tomatoes and that Chiapas wild cherry. And now I'm just going to drizzle it with some of that homemade Chipotle Ranch Dressing. Now, this is a lower calorie dressing. If you want to take an easier way out and you have a ranch dressing that you like, just use that and add in some of those chipotle peppers. I think you may even be able to buy ranch dressing now that has chipotle in it. I'm not sure because I seldom ever do that. All right, and our fried okra on here for our croutons. And there you have it. And you have a really delicious summertime fried green tomato with salad with homemade Chipotle Ranch Dressing. And I hope you enjoy it. It's certainly a full meal for us. And let me know if you give it a try. Thanks much. I appreciate it.